Hey guys, Nitro here. I know it's been a while since I've made another video of this series, but I was finally able to get back up here today, do a little recording. Where we're at right now is a spot where during the Toolbox murders, one of the girls was taken and tied up to a pine tree up in this area. Directly right back in here. This whole little outcropping area. Some of the pine trees are down right now, but a lot of them are still here. So there's only a handful of trees that they could have picked. I want you guys to look at something. If you remember, in the earlier series of videos, there was a yellow box where one of the very first victims was taken to. Well, look what we have here. This thing gives me chills. Another yellow box. These are Forest Service water boxes. There's a large tank underneath the ground here. This lid. These are locked usually. These lids open up and feed a 10,000 gallon water tank. Forest Service firefighters can come and hook up to it to utilize during brush fires. Well, the funny thing is, during Bittaker's younger days when he first got in trouble, one of the places he was sent to was fire camp. And guess what? He learned how to utilize and use those fireboxes during brush fire while he was serving time. This makes me believe that he shows significance because he knows where all these fireboxes were. And I think he picked out certain areas based directly on that, using it as a visual waypoint. Coincidence or not? I don't know. What do you guys think? You tell me. Climbing up. It's not a very big ridge here. It's not a very large area. But this just is yet another time that gives me chills, knowing Leah Lamp, she was 13 years old at the time, was walked up this exact same area in 1979. It was herself and Jackie Gilliam had been both abducted almost voluntarily at first because Bittaker and Norse had pulled up and offered them a ride and some marijuana in their van. The girls accepted. Once inside the van, all hell broke loose. And they were tied up, and their drive to the mountains began. A hellish nightmare for them. They should not have accepted that ride. And I know they quickly realized their mistake. I'm sure quickly regretted it. But you see, this is just a small area. It's never really been said or determined in any of the reports or anything like that exactly what tree she was tied up to. But it was a pine tree, which we have several right here. You can see this one fell down over the years, probably from bug damage or whatever type of bugs infest these type of trees and logs and wind and stuff like that over the years. It's been a long time, since 1979. Unfortunately, I know, because I was born in the early 70s and I'm feeling kind of old. But you can see there's not many trees up here that that would have been good enough for her to be tied to, left there for hours upon hours. She was left up here. So it had to be one of these type of larger trees that she had been tied to, assuming with some type of rope or something. It doesn't really detail what she was tied up with, unless you can get in and get inside the actual old reports, the deputy's first initial reports, or the investigators' initial reports, when those details came out after the suspects were in custody. So, but in all the documentaries and things like that, it doesn't really state exactly. But I'm assuming it was some type of a rope. This is the top of the ridge right here. As you can see, flattens out to this type of an area. I'm assuming they would have tied her up to one of these trees right up here near the top. Like this one, or this one, or quite possibly this one. I don't know. You could see just in relation, there's the road right down there. Yet another amazing fact of this case is that they had this poor girl tied up here. People were just trucking right on by. Even though in '79 there was less traffic than there is nowadays up here. A lot less bicycle traffic and everything else for sure. But just the fact to know that she'd been tied up here. And people were just driving by, and she was probably gagged. It doesn't state if she was or not, but I'm assuming, or else she very easily could have been yelling for help, and I'm sure they wouldn't have wanted that, because any car driving by, screams or yells would have echoed out throughout this whole area. Somebody would have stopped and came up, what the heck is that? Amazing. Unreal. So sad. Both girls were later murdered higher up the road. I'll do that in another video. This is just going to be kind of a quick one today. I just wanted to give you an idea, though, of yet another crime location related to this case. I mean, you didn't know that this is the exact spot. I'll show you, I'll put up photos of when they were doing the investigating at this location. You'll be able to see down there from the street. You'll be able to recognize that dirt parking area as well as this area. It's very unique. Like I said, it's only one of these only few little flattened out areas, a very gradual incline with some pine trees. Very unique to the way the geological area is up here. All right, guys, I'm gonna run for now. See you soon. Okay, guys, I had to add something to this because I'm a little freaked out. First time I came up here, I had parked right here, and right where I happened to park, I got out of my truck, I looked down on the ground, and there was old rope or yarn semi sticking out of the dirt. And it put chills up my spine. It freaked me out. So I said, well, while I'm here doing this video, I'm gonna look on the ground and look for it again. It's gotta be right here somewhere. I thought we parked right in the same, pretty much almost the exact same location I had parked at that time. So I start walking around. I've been walking around this whole little dirt parking lot here for 20 minutes now. There is no evidence at all of this old rope that I had found that day that I just happened to park exactly next to. And we're talking, it was very old. Probably not old enough to be related to the case, not old enough to be 40 years old, but old nonetheless. So as I'm walking around, continuing, because I started getting determined, and I'm getting a little irritated, so I keep looking around. God darn, I know it's got to be here somewhere. And as I'm doing that, I hear what sounded like somebody walking exactly in the area where we just filmed, exactly in the area that I just left. It sounded like somebody walking over there, and I stopped dead in my tracks, and I look over there, and I'm the only person up here, and I hear absolutely nothing. And then I suddenly hear what sounds like when you jingle change in your pocket. I got no change in my pocket. I use primarily card. I hardly ever use cash. So I just I had to turn the camera back on because this just freaked me out so bad. You think spirits are real? Beg to differ. They're real. And when you're working on things like this and you're showing interest in cases like this, believe you me, the spirit's here and they know. And sometimes they want to reach out and say, hey, thanks for not letting me be forgotten. Here's the first person I've seen come down since I've been up here. Guy on a mountain bike. Every once in a while you get mountain bikers up here. But nonetheless, just kind of freaked me out a little bit. Thought you guys would like that little added information. All right, take it easy.